Super. Well, thank you very much for joining me this evening. A lovely select little group to join me. I appreciate that this is like a month later than it was last year when I did the awards evening. So thank you very much for being patient with me. And I hope you enjoy this evening. I won't say it's going to be short and sweet, but I'm going to go through each of the monthly sets of images, look at who got which monthly award, and then give you your top 10 and your creative group choice winner from the event. So I'm just going to share my screen now. Let's go into PowerPoint. So thank you. I think probably most of you that are here tonight got involved with the ICM challenge last year, and I appreciate that. Massive turnout last year, up to, we'll go through some stats in a minute, but had over 20 people in every single challenge, which to me, you know, it's lovely. I know the group's quite big, but it's really lovely to see the same people as well coming back year after year, which is really nice as well. And we had 11 challenges because I always give myself December to kind of try and catch up and recover from everything. So I just wanted to basically walk us through the last year so we can have a look at all the fantastic images that everybody made during the year. And if any of you here tonight would like to make any comments, feel free. You're welcome to chip in if you want. And yeah, we shall go forwards. So first of all, a massive thank you to the judges for 2023. And we had an amazing selection. I thought I did great in 2022. And 2023 was a wonderful array again. We started with Anne-Marie Hoogwood. I don't know if any of you caught her presentation recently on Campusation. She is here in the Netherlands and she was an inspiration to me many, many years ago. So it was delighted to have her. We had Doug and Valda this year, which was quite a kudos, I thought, to have them judging for us, which was really brilliant. And they were both so enthusiastic about it. It was lovely. Kim Grant judged the sky for us. Linda Bembridge did complementary colours. Shona Perkins obviously gave us a wonderful presentation a few months ago, and she judged the long exposure, which I thought was a perfect choice of the subject for her. Justine Ritchie for July lines and angles. Krati Agarwal, I don't know how I say her name properly. She photographs food. She's not an ICM photographer as per se, but she really enjoyed doing the food judging. Reflections, I did one this year, and that was quite fun. I enjoyed doing that. And then we finished the year with none other than the amazing Andrew Gray and Eric Mann to top off the year. So I don't think I could beat that list of judges, to be honest, in 2024. So you will see later what I have in mind for 2024, but it won't be quite as comprehensive as this. Some interesting stats from 2023. Over 54 individuals took part over the year, which is actually quite cool because we've got just over about, I think there's 125 in the creative group now. So that's getting on for almost half of the whole group took part, which is really, really nice. We had 9 different individuals took the individual winning places of each challenge, which I found was absolutely so exciting that so many different people came forward and the judges saw so many different individuals' images as being you know, worthy, and it didn't seem to matter. There was obviously, and you took a number of first places, but other than that, there was a different person every month, and it was really, I just love seeing the different people that the judges picked. 12 people managed to submit to all 11 months of the challenges. Now, what I didn't do was check who it was that did that last year as well, because I have a sneaking suspicion that some of the people that managed it this year also managed it last year. And every month guaranteed someone submitted in the last hour. Although I said midnight, it was a bit flexible. If I got up in the morning, as long as they were in, that was fine. But there was always some late submissions. 11 brand new challenges. Last year I heard groans at, I can't remember, what was it last year? Animals you didn't enjoy last year. So we left animals out and we put food in this year. And I think food was probably the groany choice this year, just because it was probably a bit out of the comfort zone, and to make food move is quite a challenge. Woodlands and trees and light were the best supported, with 32 entries in each of those, and food was the lowest entry with 21 participants. and we have people from all over the world, a truly international competition. So the Guild of Photographers always say you're an international top 10 winner, and they have people from 2 or 3 places. But I think this is pretty international, with people from Australia, New Zealand, Norway, Sweden, Ireland, England, Scotland, USA, Canada, Israel, Spain, Italy, Germany, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, and I've probably forgotten some as well. So I apologise if I have missed you off. But like you say, it's an amazingly international group, which is just really cool. So these are the guys who submitted every single challenge. Angie's here tonight and Barbara's here tonight, and so is Steve and Valerie. Congratulations, and Jana. And I've just realised I spelt your name wrong, Jana, so apologies. Congratulations to you guys. Absolutely brilliant. I'm really, really proud of you. If any of you, I've put the certificate here on the right-hand side. It hasn't got your name on. If you would like one with your name on, just let me know and I will pop your name in it and send you it on email so you can use it as and where if you want to, or print it out or whatever you like. So I seeing as there's a few of you here this evening, is there anybody that would like to make a comment? Angie, Barbara, Steve, Valerie, Jana, anybody, about how you managed to do every challenge? Was there anything you did to make sure that you managed to get every month done?
I used a few back catalogues, but mostly I was shooting for your challenges. So yeah, I enjoy that kind of thing. Gives me something, gives me a focus for to do things.
Yeah.
And you're right, the food was a no-no. I wasn't sure what was worse, animals or food. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed doing it every month, and it's great. Gives a purpose to pick up the camera and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's motivating. That's why I liked it, because it just made me think of something different every month. And you've got a whole month. That's quite a long time, I think, to come up with something.
Yeah, brilliant. And did you use any back catalogue images, or did you shoot, Steve, this year deliberately for each
I
one?
think I used one back catalogue, but otherwise, the whole fun of it for me was to look at what it was that month and go out and try and think of something new. So I can't remember which one it was, but one of them was a back catalogue. But I've only been doing ICM sort of a year, so I didn't have a very big ICM back catalogue.
Well, I think you've done brilliantly then to submit a good sort of kickstart into the ICM world.
Yeah, I always find that it helps when you've kind of got something to look, you know, you've got a challenge at that point, and you've got some time to think about it, and you can go out and specifically shoot, because I shot like a photo for each one kind of deal, and it was fun. It's I really haven't picked up my camera to do a lot of ICM lately, because I haven't had a kind of challenge to push me. So I'm looking forward to 2024.
That's brilliant. Super. And anything, Jana, Valerie?
Well, I'm the same as Angie. I tried each month to do something specifically for this challenge, and the same as Steve, it motivated me to actually go and do something different. Though I did tend to be one of the ones that got to the very end of the month. I know I had a month to do it, but I was one of the ones that was rather late most months.
Yeah, I was going to make that comment, not for you specifically, but when Steve said you've got a whole month to shoot, I was like, yeah, that didn't stop people putting it in at the last minute, though, did it? Yeah. And Jana, anything?
Well, it was just a decision to participate every month, because what's the point if I do only those challenges that are easy to me? Yeah. I used back catalog, I think, mostly. Maybe food was something that I really needed to grab my camera, but yeah, I have lots of images on my back catalog, and it was really nice to go through and find matching images.
Brilliant. Yeah. No, I'm really proud of you guys that managed to, and all of you, not just those of you that are here this evening, but all the names on the left-hand side. and you should be very proud of yourself, because anybody that does the Guild of Photographers will know how hard it is to submit every single month and find something, and especially if you're shooting something like carrots or whatever happens to be your challenge for the month. As you're going to see when we go through the images, you'll see the wonderful things that people came up with. So congratulations to all of you. Well deserved recognition. So what I'm going to do is now go through your challenge winners, and what I do is I'm going to go into the issue catalogue that I created, or the publication, so we can have a quick flick through and see all the amazing images that were made for each challenge, because I think it's lovely to look back, and they're on there indefinitely on the issue. If you just put in my name, you'll come up with all of the catalogues if you want to go and have a look at any of these after this evening. And I think it's so lovely to see how people interpret each of the concepts, ideas. So January, we started with woodlands and trees. Always a nice one to get everybody into the year, because it's probably what most people have tried and started shooting with. Our judge was Anne-Marie. And the winner, well deserved, was Anya, with this beautiful image here, which was actually, it turned out that it was actually trees lit up by the tail lights of cars that she took in her local park. It was just, yeah, it took the judge. I loved it as well. And I think most of you loved it as well. So what we'll do is we'll just go in, if this works. Fingers crossed this works okay. Maybe this won't. Maybe I need to do that. Go there. No, it's just, I'm just trying to figure out how that's supposed to be able to click on that. It worked earlier. Yes, it is working. There we go. I just haven't got it open. Apologies. So let's make that big and we can view that. So our woodlands and trees was won by Anya, and the runner-up was Barbara. Congratulations, Barbara. And we got some lovely comments from the judge on the ICM images, and it was just lovely to see how, again, something woodlands and trees could be interpreted in many different guises. We had some multiple exposures, we had lots of colour, lots of movement, and it's just so lovely, because trees and woodlands could be interpreted in a very sort of simple way, but you'll see every single one of these images in here is completely different, and everybody put their stamp on it in their own way, which is just really, really super. So we had the top 10, and then we ran into the other people that submitted as well. And I think it's really lovely putting everybody's images into these catalogues or publications, whatever you want to call them, because I think, you know, it doesn't matter whether you've got a top 10 or not. The fact that you submitted and you tried, and when you see your work against everybody else's work, and you see the variation that's come through and the creativity, I think it's really, really lovely to see. And as I said, this month we had an awful lot of entries in this month, and the last ones we had at the back were my top picks. And this year what I did was something a little bit different. I picked images that hadn't been picked by the judge. So last year I sometimes picked the same ones as the judge, but this year I thought it'd be nice to add extra images into the mix that hadn't been picked by the judge, to give them an extra. And so they're just ones I've picked based on, you know, personal liking, basically. Something's normally spoken to me, maybe it's the color or the feel or the light or the way that the ICM's been put together. And these are really good examples of a lovely set of 5. And there weren't a set number that I chose each month, but these 5 really caught me for, and they were all so different, but they all evoked very, very different emotions and feelings. The one from Steve there is, and Camilla, very, very energizing, lots of colour. And then you've got Scotty's and Dawn's that are kind of almost menacing, get taken down into the woods with low light. And then Miriam's, it almost looks as though the woodland's on fire. So I think it's just really lovely to be able to showcase those and give something a little bit back to those as well. So that worked. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Brilliant. Always nice when it works. February was Bleak or Wild. Now, it was really interesting coming up with the concepts and the ideas that came with each month. I kind of wanted to find different ones from the year before. Our judge was Doug Chinnery, and our winner was Joy Tracy with this lovely, calm, sort of very serene, but a very kind of cool and bleak image. So it was really, really lovely to see her image come through as the winner. Again, a new winner from that one. And so Joy was the winner, and the runner-up was Anya with her black and white interpretation of the place that she photographed, which was lovely. And then we ran into some interesting images. And the wonderful thing is, with woodlands and trees, you've kind of got a subject, whereas bleak and wild is more an interpretation. And so it's really lovely how people interpreted this idea of being bleak or wild. And it could be one or the other, it could be both. I mean, this image of Steve's here, it shows bleak and wild. I wouldn't want to be stood up on the top of that hill with the wind blowing, as it maybe was, or maybe it was just the interpretation with the ICM. And, you know, just a bit more black and white came through in this, because you kind of think of coldness when you think of black and white, maybe, or starkness, or a little bit more not so warm anyway. And then we had some lovely, interesting images through, but they had, I mean, these ones are very dark. This set of 4 here, they're really, really quite menacing, and quite sort of heavy compared to some of the lighter trees and woodlands. Again, lots and lots of black and white and monotone coming through. And lovely colour on there from Valerie. And let me get to these ones, and then my picks here. I picked these ones through here. I found some of these images really intriguing. And again, it's really interesting how bleak and wild can be interpreted. The concept here that Malcolm ran with, sort of with the interaction between man-made elements and the woodlands, with the light there, was quite interesting and quite contrasting. And then these two just felt like I was, you know, I wouldn't want to be out in those woodlands on my own in that situation there. And then Camilla's take on bleak and wild of the landscape, the sort of industrial landscape, was a really interesting one as well. The same as Sue's on the right-hand side. Just really, really interesting how you can interpret. It doesn't need to be in a natural setting. So then March was light and dark, and our judge was Valda Bailey, and Anya won her second challenge with this one. Really nice. Again, a concept rather than a subject. So you basically, I don't know how many of you found it was quite nice to have the concepts rather than the subjects, whether that was useful. I had somebody in a group last night, and I said, oh, you can photograph whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a subject. And she said, oh, I'm not sure I can cope with having to make a choice. It's much easier if you just tell me what to photograph. So it's interesting on this one. So winner was Anya. The runner-up was Jana here, with this beautiful sort of golden image. And again, light and dark. It's really interesting how you can interpret it. It's really lovely, sort of patterns, shapes, light. This one's interesting, Margaret using the light actually coming from a building through a window. I thought that was fascinating. I think you see so many, I mean, maybe because of the way I teach, but I see an awful lot of natural images. So I always really, really enjoy seeing, you know, these really dynamic sort of structure and abstract. And this one like Steve's, where you're walking through the tunnel to the light, and these stripes, the replicating elements are really, really super. And then this lovely one from Angie with the light and the dark and the shapes. Really, really lovely. Again, a lot of fun playing with lights in ICM. It's an interesting challenge to go with. And again, so many interpretations of 2 words, light and dark, just to show you how varied the interpretation, how simple, how complex it can be made. And then my picks were this one of Michelle's, really quite interesting actually, because it's kind of monotone in that it's just blue and white, essentially. A really, really lovely landscape with the lights and the darks coming through. It's one with Federica with the lights coming through from the back of the woodland. Bahita with a spotlight. It's really interesting, and Maureen's fast lights coming through the tunnel. And I think I've seen a couple of these before, and I've said to people, you weren't driving, were you? And I've been told that I wasn't. But it's really interesting. I've just started the Deep Dive Further course with a group, and light is one of the subjects that we do as a concept, because we're not doing subjects this time, we're doing concepts. And it's really interesting how they've all had a lot of fun in the first week photographing light in ICM and all the different ways you can interpret it. April was Sky, and our judge was Kim Grant. Anybody who doesn't follow Kim already, she has a wonderful podcast to follow, and it's all about photography, nature and wellness, mindfulness. She has some super workshops running as well, and she's just an all-round lovely person. So if you aren't following her yet, do go and follow her on YouTube and Instagram. I think it's Creative Connections is her podcast and her website now. Our winner for this one was Miriam Manners, and her interesting replica flip of an image here for Sky. So, okay. Now this one was interesting because it was like, I did have a few questions early on about, can we have things other than sky in our pictures? As long as sky was kind of the main part of the image, I was quite happy with it. So our runner-up was Camilla with this beautiful sunset and a really sort of lovely soft ICM there. And then we ran through, and the interpretations of sky, it's really interesting to see where the sky, depending on where people were in the world as well, how it was interpreted, whether the sky had sun in it or not, as the case may be. And in fact, it looked as though at that point there was quite a lot of sun going on in England, amazingly. Some amazing sunsets, which were really, really lovely. And sunsets over the tulip fields even from Barbara. Lots and lots of sunsets, which was just really lovely. Loads of colour to see. And then my picks were at the back here. Steve's windmill, I really love the fact that you've got like a subject matter in there that was recognisable. Beautiful composition. Dawn's, is it Aurora Borealis? The northern lights coming through there was super. A really, really clever capture with the ICM. Sue's lovely sunset there, and Moy's really interesting movement of the horizon there in hers. So lots of lovely variation in there. May was complementary colours. Our judge was Linda Bembridge, and our winner for the third time was Anya. Anya did pretty well this year, to be fair. I think she did pretty well last year as well. So I'm really looking forward to running the creative retreat with her up in Scotland in April. So she's a well-deserved winner on these challenges. Our runner-up was Christine Griffiths, and it was really interesting. She, at the time, this was actually taken, well, she made this image, I think, around the time of, I think, when things started to happen in Ukraine. This was actually a response to the oilseed rape fields, I think, and what was going on in her head at the time, which was really lovely that she could put this into the challenge here. And again, lots and lots of lovely energy in these images. And I agree with the judge about Debbie's image that you definitely wouldn't want to be on that roller coaster. So some super colour, really, really lovely colour. Lots of energy. And again, lots of different subject matter in this one, which was really, really nice. So you got some real sort of variation in the subjects that were photographed for this. Even a paint pot, Steve. That was really
Yeah, I
inspired.
think I took it a bit too literally, the subject.
I think it was, I really love the color contrast. It's absolutely super. Absolutely super. So yeah, again, the pics, the contrast of these two colors of Dawn's were just really, really lovely. As were Susan Woodbridge, Sue's and Maureen's. Anybody that knows me will know that I absolutely love blue and yellow. So elements that have blue and yellow in are, you know, always going to draw my eye. But equally, this beautiful, soft pastel one of Charles's. And then equally, the Marion's one, you know, purple and green is a fantastic set of contrasting colours as well, which work really well as well. June was long exposure, and our judge was Shona Perkins, and our winner was Maureen Stewart with this beautiful, serene woodland image. It's got beautiful light, beautiful composition. Love the shadows and the depth to this. It's really, really lovely, and the green is just so vibrant. So, and as I said to somebody just the other day, before Shona came and spoke to us, I never really used to photograph ICM in anything more than about a second. And then after Shona's presentation, I was absolutely bowled over with why she used longer exposures, because I never used longer exposures because I thought I didn't have control using longer exposures. And yet she was using them because she did have more control. So ever since then, I've been experimenting and playing. And again, last night, the group, the Deep Dive Further group, started on shutter speed and experimenting with movements, and I taught them all about how to photograph at 15 seconds or more with ICM. So that was a new experience. I think I blew their brains last night with that concept. So that's something to go away with. But Maureen was a very worthy winner of this challenge with Steve, with this fantastic what do you call it, a groin? Yeah, it is a groin. I just love it. Again, you've got the blues and the yellows, but that dynamic zigzag up the beach is just fantastic. I love the texture. And these are not easy to do with ICM because all the movement going in the different directions with the water, as well as the, you know, getting the posts in. I think you've done brilliantly to keep what you've kept sort of, you know, crisp and detailed. I think it's absolutely super. And then we went through some of these others. I love Sue's. It kind of reminds me of Van Gogh's Sunflowers. Just really, really lovely. Really very simple images. Debbie's is super, so is Valerie's there. The colour and the energy coming from the flowers is really lovely. And that's a vineyard that you want to walk through, isn't it? It's lovely. Yeah, another one of these Aurora Borealis ones from Dawn. It's really interesting how you can manage to put photos that are similar concept through these. Colin was very brave putting in some birds, some animals into this one, which was, yeah, as most people know, not most people's favourite subjects. And then these ones here, I just thought they were really, really lovely. Just the compositions and the feels of these images. Quite often, that's how I've chosen these Charlie's picks. It's just the kind of, would I put it on my wall and what do I feel when I'm looking at it? And the one of Christine's, it's just got so much vibrance and so much energy. I love the composition of it. I think it's super. Joy's, I almost feel as though I'm stood there and I've got this kind of massive sky in front of me. And Annabelle's just, you know, I know that sort of light that you get on the surface here. And interestingly, Annabelle does all of hers in her phone. So she's been sending, she's not on Facebook, so she sends them to me each month, and they come into the group, and she does it all by phone. And then a really interesting image there from Yana. Very dark compared to some of the others. Really, really intriguing. Can you remind me what the subject was on this, Yana?
People.
People. There were people in there. Yeah. It's really interesting. I saw the potato eaters in the gallery the other day, and it's got very similar colours here to that painting. It's quite interesting like that. So Right. Moving on to July, lines and angles, and we had Justine Ritchie to judge. I met Justine when I was up in the Scotland retreat from Margaret Soraya a couple of years ago, and I just loved her work. And she lives on the top of the side of a hillside with no water, no running water, no electricity, and she does it all on her own. And I was just absolutely gobsmacked. She is one incredible lady. If I think my DIY is a big job, she can't even get anything to her house. She's literally on the side of a mountain. It's just amazing. Anyway, our challenge here was won by Annabelle here, which was really, again, it was just so lovely to see so many different people actually winning the challenges. And this is a super image with lines, and they're just the hint of a person. And it was interesting because she'd done a course with me, and we had seen an image, I think, similar to this, and one had come with people, one without. And I think the person actually adds something to this image. It just adds a little bit of a point of focus, but also a balance and a sort of suggestion of what the area is being used for. But super lines, and very well held, how he managed to get all the different lines in there. So our runner-up was Anne for this one. Beautiful. Again, the colors and the lines are just really lovely. The blues and the yellows and the greens, super composition. And it's actually a real interesting contrast, having the circles and the bent lines inside a square box. So you kind of like, you've got already, without even having those contrasts in the image, that the fact that the crop is square and the lines are bent, you have a really dynamic image. But it is super lines and angles, and as I said, a lovely worthy winner from Annabelle there. Really interesting. Some really subtle, and then some really strong. I mean, the difference between Jana's images and Tommy's and Miriam's couldn't be further poles apart, but it's just wonderful to see the styles and the way that people interpreted these things. And you all know that I say any image, there's not a wrong ICM image. It's just how you want to interpret it and want to present it. And architecture is not the easiest thing to do. And keep the lines and keep the focus and keep the dynamic images, because when you've got lines going in different ways, it's very easy to smudge them and lose the lines and the angles. But really super. Different images coming through from everybody here. In some places you can recognize, in some places you can't. Interesting one here from Lou, which is not like an architecture one. She's used the lines of wheat, I think it was, and then the grass heads to put the angles on almost. And then same with Maureen. I think this looks almost like the same place she got the win from on the other challenge. Really lovely. And then the lovely glass, I think, is it glass, Valerie? Reflections?
No, it's not. It's under the pier.
Oh, okay.
It's at the beach.
Okay. I
So
really
it's
love
water.
Okay, that's cool. No, I love the composition. I love the fact that you've got like this sort of respite from this, which the dynamic and the balance of it works really well for me with the darks, blues and the lines. Really lovely. And then Rainer, very dynamic with the lines and the angles. Super. I look back on these, and when I look through them, it makes me so happy that so many people interpret the same thing in so many different ways. Now, everybody's favorite month, August, food, judged by Cratty, and Marina's wonderful carrots. I mean, who would have thought carrots could be quite so beautiful and intriguing? I always find that when I look at pictures and I keep looking at them for too long, I start seeing things, and I'm now seeing carrot ducks and things coming through here. But, you know, really intriguing and a really lovely idea to take it on. And there were some really interesting takes on the food challenge, the way people interpreted it. It wasn't just, you know, I'll photograph a cake, which I would have done. But, you know, people interpreting food in the field or, you know, edible flowers, that kind of thing, which was really lovely. And we go from Marina's wonderful carrots to Reiner's canned tomatoes, which is inspired, I think. And there was a, you were discussing earlier, Steve, about the difference of the way the male brain and the female brain work. And I think this is a perfect example of the interpretation of the subject matter. I think it's just so, the two images are so poles apart, but equally beautifully interpreted on the concept and the idea. I think it's really, really super and fun.
Yeah, that's a man's idea of vegetables.
Is that what it is? See, I'd have had to photograph a bottle of wine, I think, and said that was great. Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's just even photographing a can of tomatoes, with the light and the shape and the movement is just a lot of fun. You obviously went to the fruit and veg market, but again, lemons on a light pad from Camilla. People thinking outside the box. I just love it when people sort of put their own twist on it. Eggs in a line, I think, from Yana. Banana being twisted, and just so much. Mary's courgettes and runner beans. Now that's a new one on me. That's so abstract, but again, beautiful, isn't it? I mean, like if you saw that hanging in a gallery, you'd go, okay, I'm sure it is. But in amongst this, it works beautifully. The colours and the lines and the ICM is super. Here we go. Well, Anya did a wine blob, so she was quite close to the wine with me. And the Turkish Delight from Christina. I think that's fantastic. I love Turkish Delight, and it's just, the colours. And this is the one I was talking about. Michelle took sunflowers and edible flowers, and this one was one where I actually put the subject matter next to what people had photographed, because I think for some of them, it really wasn't obvious, but I think it's intriguing the way that people interpreted this challenge. Really, really lovely. And some quite dark ones. Miriam's sweet corn all lined up. I just love the repetition of this one. And the lines, and then the brown and the black. I love the sort of the balance of this image. It worked really well. Angie's, I love the repetition again of the lines and the circles at the top. I think it was a cup of tea or something, or a yogurt pot. Was it, Angie?
Tomato soup.
Tomato soup. There you go.
In a bowl. That was my lunch.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Inspiration from your lunch. But I just love those white elements, and then the way that it kind of folded over the orange, and then even the spoon in there, it worked brilliantly. And then Christina's French beans, and then Trisha's strawberries, the way that light, this is just like inspired with the light, the way the lights just come on the strawberries, and the tiniest movement to get that. Again, all worthy picks extra on top of the judges there. And September was reflections. Now I judged this one because I ran out of judges basically, and I sort of left it a bit too late to try and organise one. So I thought, you know what, I've done nearly 2 years and I haven't judged one on my own. It's always interesting because what I do is as soon as they come in, I do just literally put them into a folder. So I don't, and they're all numbered straight away. So they have no names on them as soon as they're off Facebook. So I did do it pretty much blind. Debbie was a lovely worthy winner here. I just love this. It kind of reminded me of a sort of, what do you call it? Nights in Arabia fairy tale kind of thing here, with the beautiful reflections that she's got going on here, and the lily pads. I thought it was just really, really lovely. It sort of reminded me of a fairy tale setting. And again, reflections, this again could be interpreted, obvious that I do an awful lot of reflections, and it's always trees in water. So it's really interesting again to see how people interpreted this idea. And our runner-up again was Maureen Stewart, with the beautiful reflections of the water and the light on the water here. So you kind of went through, it's almost like going through a canal between the woods in the night. Reflections, light reflections, if you haven't played with light reflections on water, do go and have a play at some point. It's a lot of fun, and you can draw whatever shapes you want. And Ryan has gone kind of crazy here with the amount of movement and the shapes that he's drawn, but it's worked brilliantly with this color palette and the black background. It works really super, and I just love the softness that you get around the sharpness there. Water providing some wonderful reflections here in different guises, and it's always interesting, I think, whether you include your original subject in the reflection or not. And sometimes it can be really cool to do it, and sometimes it can be really abstract not to do it. So it's a fun thing to play with. Beautiful reflection off the clouds and the sun there into the ICM. This one was this one of the ones that you put on the wall, Valerie? I can't remember now.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one was one of Valerie's series that she presented to the group that she put on the wall for the exhibition. If you haven't seen that yet, do go and have a look. It's still up till the end of February. The link is in the group. You can easily go and access it. And Anne did a wonderful flamingo, which worked brilliantly. I just love how soft that is, and I love the reflection. Beautiful composition. I think you've done really, really well to hold that. And then we went into the other entries. Lots of really lovely images here coming through. So again, such a varied amount and different styles. And we didn't have a Charlie's Pick that month because I'd done the whole judging, so I didn't need to do it again. And then October was a location. Now this was an interesting one, because you know, a location could mean anything to you. It could be your favorite location, it could be a location that's just where you live, it could be a location you've visited. I didn't specifically say what sort of location it could be. So our judge was Andrew Gray, who I absolutely love his work. Very much reminiscent of Turner paintings, his work. It's really, really lovely. And our winner was Valerie. Which are just so lovely to see, because I think Valerie, you did enter every single month last year as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So you're one of the couple that managed to do that. So I was just so delighted to see that you've got a win for this one. And I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful image. I've had a go photographing ICM stained glass windows before, and there's a real finesse to doing it, to making it look you know, not making it look too awful, to be honest. You can go, the movements you make have to be very, very gentle and very, you kind of almost have to read the shapes, but also the light that's coming through. And I think I think even Andrew commented, didn't he, about the yellow that came down out of the image here, that added something to the composition, because what it did, it kind of tied it to, it takes your eye beautifully from the bottom up into the stained glass, and then the beautiful shape at the top there really holds it in at the top, and that just pop of red over here adds something to it, and then the blues and the yellows are beautiful. So a really, really well deserved winning image for this challenge. And I can't remember whether I added the locations on these ones, or I left it to everybody to try and guess what they were. No, I didn't put the locations. So our winner, our runner-up was Maureen, with this lovely sort of expanse of water. And again, what was lovely about this was, because everybody was all over the place in the world, you could interpret, you know, if everybody just put in where they lived, it would have been an amazing thing to see. But again, it's lovely to interpret a location as anything, any place you live, any place you're, you know, spend time or even visit. And we had some lovely, lovely choices. Some of them were more obvious what they were than others. But the feelings, sometimes when you have a location, the feelings sometimes come through. And we had some really, really interesting one. This one I think Michelle used as her Christmas card this year, which is really fun, that people are starting to use their ICM images for Christmas cards. Again, some of them you recognize and some of them you don't. But again, beautiful interpretations of locations using ICM photography. Very iconic, Angie, that one. So, and carrying on all the way through. Now, I just saw a photograph of this. I had no idea what this was until I saw a photograph from above the other day, what it is. It's really intriguing to see that it's like this sea serpent, massive, absolutely massive, somewhere on the French coast, made of metal. Now, my picks were based, again, just on a feel of being in a place, in place where you, excuse the noise, my husband's decided to start banging with a hammer, if you can hear noise. He's still doing DIY. So this lovely location from Bagita in a, I think, I don't know if the cornfield or also rape field, but again, it's the combination between the blue and yellow is really lovely. Federica's, I felt like I was walking down that street there. I just love the timeless feel and the colours in there. And then Lola's was really interesting because it's a location, it's the beach, which is a location. It could be any location. Any of you could stand in a location like that, but it would not be the same for anybody. And I just loved the way those waves were coming at me. I just thought that was really, really beautiful. Now we come to the last one, which was autumn colour. I thought, why not throw that one in this year? It should hopefully throw some ideas up. I think for me, autumn colour was quite a challenge this year. It really wasn't a great autumn for colour in the end. We got some yellows, but that was about it. Our judge was Eric Malm, who very willingly gave his feedback on the images and chose his top 10. And our winner was Barbara. Congratulations, Barbara. This is a multiple exposure, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. So there's a little cluster of trees kind of in the middle of the city. So I took the picture of the trees first, and then we had these really red, vibrant leaves on another plant. So then I took that and just kind of did a combination. It was the first time I had attempted something along this line, so it was very much out of my comfort zone. But it turned out pretty good.
Yeah. Did you do it in camera or did you do it in Photoshop afterwards?
In Photoshop.
Photoshop, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's lovely, and I think it probably played to the kind of style that Eric does as well, because he likes a little element that's a little bit of sort of possibly sharper. And wait a second, I'm just going to ask my husband not to bang quite so loudly. Kevin, thank you. Busy repairing the windows, right? So, yeah,
Charlotte, can I ask a quick question? Are there children in that picture as well? Am I seeing children, or is
Barbara,
it?
are there any children in the picture?
No, just woods and trees.
Wow. Well, I can see children on the right, and that's what spooked me. I thought it was brilliant.
Okay, now you're freaking me out.
Yeah, you could give it a new name, Fairies in the Woodland or something, and then everybody will be looking for them and they won't be able to see it. I think
I might not be going back there on my own again.
I think it's always fascinating when you sit and look at a picture for long enough and you see things coming out of it, and yeah, it's always really intriguing what everybody sees. But yeah, it's a really, really lovely, and I'd say, you know, no problem with multiple exposures in these, and this is lovely because you've got a multiple exposure, but both of them are in ICM as well, which really adds, and I think the color is super. Again, lines that work on different directions is really, really lovely. So congratulations on your win there for the last challenge of 2023. So we go in here. Again, fairly, I mean, the subject matter we were going to see was fairly predictable. I think there were a couple of images that were slightly unexpected, but loads and loads of beautiful autumn colour from the trees. A beautiful runner-up from Camilla. I love the square crop, and it's really dynamic. It's really interesting. Anybody that's heard me speak, I think square crops can sometimes make it a lot more abstract. It kind of looks as though she's got in there with her felt tip pens and her crayons and gone crazy with the colours, but I love the pops of the greens and the reds sort of combining with those straight lines. Some very gentle colour from Scotty there, and then more and more energy coming through. And like I said before, some of them weren't just, you know, trees. So this one from Birgitta is a landscape, but using the autumn colours. Marion's here is a reflection, so obviously just, I think there's buildings here, but you've just got the reflection of the autumn colours in the corner there. And Ryan took the autumn feel of the church there, and I think which one, lots and lots of beautiful ICM movement coming through. Joy's was really interesting. I love Joy's take on this one. She said, you know, I think I'm going a bit off the beaten track here, but the autumn colours, I never said it had to be autumn trees with the colours. I just said autumn colours. So she went with the colours. I can't remember whether it was in a shopping centre or planetarium or somewhere with a dome groove. But I again, I love the fact that she's got the oranges and the yellows and the after the box thinking on that one. My picks for the end one here, pretty predictable. They were leaves. Again, lovely one from Steve. That was just a real energy and real power in this image. I love the sort of the effect. Was this a multiple exposure, Steve?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the way that the leaves have come across, and the colour, the pop of red. Again, if you ever have red in an image, it will always catch the eye beyond anything else. But it just kind of took me through to the light at the other end. Really, really beautiful image here. And this one of Anne's. So gentle, Anne. What sort of shutter speed? Do you know what sort of shutter speed you might have been using for that one?
I think it was half of a second. My favorite at the moment.
Yeah. It's so gentle, so pastel. And then I love the complementary colour, the green in the background, which just helps the reds at the front pop out. Really, really lovely. And then Federica's autumn leaves against the blue on the reflections on the water were just really, really lovely as well. And Malcolm's reminded me of a carpet, a Persian carpet, the colours that came through there, which was why I like that. It kind of looked like, yeah, just really, really unique. So they are all of your challenge winners, and I hope you enjoyed like a little look through, remember of the images that came through. There's such a diverse selection. It was just really, really lovely to see. So your top 10, these are in random order, but these guys are all in the top 10, and I will announce them all in the right order in a minute. So what did we run? We ran points wise. Every image in the top 10 was given, at first was given 10 points, the 10th was given 1 point. Everybody that entered an image in a month got a point, and anyone that got a Charlie's pick also got a further 2 points. But if you won, you've also got your entry point as well, so you got 11 points. It was really, really interesting to pull them all together, and I hope that I've got them as good as I possibly can. I double check them and triple check them. So these are your top 10 in random order. So we'll go through them now and see how you all did. So 10th place goes to Christine. Congratulations, Christine. Again, if any of you would like your certificates, they're already done with your names on these ones. I'm more than happy to send them out to you if you would like them for any reason. 9th place, Angie, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's lovely to see you in the top 10 there with your 9th place. Congratulations. 8th, Barbara, you're here as well. Congratulations.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Great.
Yeah, you have to remember this is out of 50 something people, so you guys have done really, really well to be in the top 10 here, so congratulations. 7th place was Raina. 6th place Miriam. 5th was Maureen. 4th was Joy. 3rd, congratulations, Yana.
Well done, Yana.
Thank you.
Did you get a place last year? You got placed last year as well, didn't you?
Same place, yes.
Same place. That's consistency. That's consistency. That is brilliant. Congratulations. A really, really good selection of images this year. Really,
I think I've went backwards. I'm sure I was further up last year. I can't remember.
Yeah. Congratulations, Yana. 2nd place, Steve. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That's amazing. It's
Well done,
fantastic.
Steve.
Thank you.
Well done, Steve.
Yeah, brilliant. Really, really good. And you entered last year as well, didn't you?
No, this is my first year.
Your first year? Oh,
It was
brilliant.
only the year before that I did my first course with you.
Of course, yeah. So straight in there. Brilliant.
He's
Congratulations.
showing off now. He's showing off.
I'm just one there for the men.
Yeah, well, there you are. You proved it. You've made your point. You're brilliant. So congratulations, Steve. Really,
Thank you.
really good.
Thank you.
It's interesting, actually, because we did have a number of male judges this year. So it always intrigues me, discussing men, female. And I always am intrigued with horse riding, because everybody that rides horses is girls. And yet when you get to be a professional, it's men. And it's kind of a bit like that with artists, like certainly painters. There's an awful lot of men painters. and yet sort of at the amateur level or the lower level, it's all females. So I don't know what happens when you get
It's still a very unfair, biased world, I'm afraid, Charlie. Between male and
it is to
female.
everybody. It is to everybody. So
First to
there you
admit
go.
that.
There you go. But congratulations. It's lovely. And unsurprisingly, Anya couldn't make it tonight. She's gone off to a gig tonight. I was like, oh, Anya. So anyway, well deserved, Anya. I think, what was it, three wins, a number of second places, third prizes, places. But you weren't, you know, points wise, there was a bit of a gap, and then everybody was quite bunched up after Anya. So it's, yeah, really, really well done, Anya. Congratulations. And then I put out the images to you guys in the creative community to see which one you liked of the top 11 of the year. And our winner is Anya's first one of the year of her woodlands and trees image. So congratulations, Anya, on winning your creative community win as well. So a number of you have asked me already on Facebook what's happening this year, because there's not been anything posted. And unfortunately this year, there won't be an ICM challenge. I'm just so crazy busy with everything. I love doing it, but it does take an awful lot to be organised. So rather than being a monthly challenge, what I have done is I've put 4 dates in the diary this year, and they are going to be ICM image critique evenings, okay, just for the creative group. And you can sign up and submit your images for these. I will post it in the group when it's available to do. There will be no cost, but they will be going, the videos will be uploaded to my YouTube channel for public viewing. So you need to be happy with this if you want to submit something, if you're happy for me to critique it. There'll be a number of, a maximum of 15 images at each session. They will be recorded, so if you can't make them live, you can. But if you want to put these dates in your diary now, these are the dates that the critique evenings will go on at 8 o'clock, same as usual. This sort of setup. You don't need to turn up, even if you've submitted an image and it's been accepted. You can still just watch it up on catch up if you can't make the actual event. But that's what I'm going to do this year. And probably we'll say 2025, the challenge will be back with bells on, hopefully. But this year it's just going to take a break. But keep posting your ICM images in the group though, because it's lovely to see.
That gives me 12 months to practice.
Sorry,
was that somebody else said it gives me 12 months to practice?
yeah, that's right. That's brilliant. Yeah, so I'm just going to stop my share there, and just so I can see everybody again. Which just remains for me to say thank you very much for joining me this evening. A little small group, but it's been lovely to have you with me while I've been going through those. Have you enjoyed looking through? Miriam, sorry I didn't see you were there, or Christine, sorry I didn't see you guys had come in before I got started, and I couldn't see anybody at all while I was talking. Did you all enjoy that walk through the months?
Yes, very much.
Excellent. Good to see everything again.
The variations just so amazing how everybody interprets everything. Yeah,
Some amazing images.
yeah, brilliant.
And there are definitely children in that woods.
Fab, we'll go looking for them next time. Yeah, brilliant. Any comments, anything from anybody else before we finish?
Your images for critique, Charlie, could they be ICM and multiple exposure with creative?
Yeah, we'll run with a creative, to be honest, not just ICM. You know, I don't mind ICM or multiple exposure, or a mixture of both. I don't mind at all. And it will be an evening, an hour and a half or so. And I'll just, anybody that's done them before, I'll go through them, give you some feedback on them, and see if I can help. And like I say, even if you don't put an image in, it's always useful to see the critique on other people's, because I can promise you, any of you that have done mentoring with me or done any kind of critique, I'm pretty sure that you'll gain from seeing other people's work as well as your own. So
thank you.
Excellent. Brilliant.
Well, enjoy the rest of till whenever I see you all again. Some of you I see quite regularly these days, some people not. Enjoy, keep being active in the group, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. If you missed a little bit at the start, anybody It'll be uploaded I'll try and upload it to YouTube tomorrow. If not, it'll be next week sometime. So, all right.
When do you leave for the awards, Charlie? Tomorrow?
Friday morning at 4 o'clock.
Enjoy, have a good time.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys.
Okay, thanks.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.